What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Stay healthy and stay safe with this air purifier. It's good to have an air purifier at your home to get rid of all the particulates in the air. For me, I really suffer from allergies a lot, and that is usually kind of the dust and the pollen that gets in the air. So because we're going into spring, that's going to be a major issue for me. But I'm hoping it's going to be less of an issue than it normally is because I've got this air purifier. And my hope is that I can just put this in my bedroom and sleep at night without getting congested and wake up feeling refreshed and energetic. Now, this little air purifier looks adorable. It kind of looks like a small R2-D2. It actually seems like it has a little happy face on it. It's not that big, probably about as tall as a small office waste can, but it's actually pretty slim and kind of has a little bit of like an industrial Dyson look. It's got a matte black finish all the way around. It's not overly heavy. It's got a round base here that you can see the venting where I think it'll suck air in or maybe exhaust it out. Then some rubber feet on the bottom. And then on the top we have a control panel that, as you can see, it's kind of like a face that looks up. So as it's sitting on the floor, it's going to be nicely angled towards you. And it's got 3 fan speeds, on, off, light, an ionizer right there, I think, and then the filter indicator. And so what you might also be able to see here is that it looks like the vent might blow out around this panel. So the panel kind of floats above some of the venting. We also have a 2-prong outlet here. Looks like we've got a pretty good amount of cableage. Now, I want to show you here on the bottom, there is a little marking open and lock. And I think if I rotate the bottom like that, this should come off and we can take the filter out. So you can see it's wrapped in plastic. It's fantastic. Kind of looks just like a car air filter in some ways. It's like a paper filter and it has like this kind of fabric, almost fiberglass like lining around it. And you can see now, if I just drop it in here and put the top back on, I think that's all we need to do. You just line up the arrows to open and then twist it to lock. And now let's turn it on and try it out. So I've got the air purifier plugged in here. We'll just hit the power button. You can see that it goes on. It's blowing. I can feel it blowing right out of the top here. You might be able to detect that on the microphone. And then it looks like we can control fan speed. 1 is very quiet. I can barely hear it, but I can feel the air. 2 is a pretty significant step up. It's definitely blowing. And you can just kind of hear it. And 3, now I can actually hear the fan. So if you're sleeping next to this thing or you have in your office, I would say that 1 or 2 is probably going to be the right level. But like I said, if it's not near you, you know, if it's in your bedroom or something like that, and you really want to circulate a decent amount of air, I would put it on 3. That's great. You might be able to see here we have a light button. When it's off, there's no light, but so that turns off the light. But if I hit it there, you can see that it turns blue. And what we actually have here is a glowing light in the back, and you can see it's rotating through colors. So it's going to give it a nice little kind of nightlight effect almost in the dark, which is going to be kind of soothing. You know, it'll also give you an indication of that it's working. And like I said, if you have a really dark area, it could be nice to have that light slight glow. It might help you stay oriented in your room. So that's kind of cool. And then we have this anion button. I think it's ions, but if you hit this, what it'll do, when it's lit up, it'll turn on. It will release, apparently, 6 million ions per second to make the air fresh. And I think that's similar to like the Ionizer air fresheners. It really kind of draws in dust. It kind of attracts it to, you know, the elements inside here, and then releases kind of those ions into the air, which, you know, will kill, I think, microbes and mold even and things like that. Now, it's also my understanding that if you're in that area with the air, you don't want those ions really released particularly. I don't know that they're good for humans because they can kind of kill the bacteria that's in you. That's probably pretty good. So, you know, especially if you're going to leave a room for a day and you want to kind of do a deep cleaning, deep filtering, I would turn that on and leave it and kind of close up the room. But when I'm around, personally, I would probably turn that off. And then you do have a filter replacement light there. So as it draws in a bunch of air, you should be notified when you need to replace the filter on there too. So pretty cool. Hey, I'm going to use this and we'll test it out. All right, I went ahead and drew the shades here. I've been using this for a couple days here, and I just want to show you that light. it's not overpowering. You know, this room is not completely dark, but you can see how kind of subtle this is, especially if you're looking at it on the side. That's when it's going to be the brightest, but especially when you turn it away from you, it's not particularly bright, and it's no worse than a nightlight. So honestly, leaving the light on has not been disturbing, even when I've been sleeping with it in the room. The other thing I will say is that after a couple days with it, I think it's great. I don't know what kind of volume it purifies and displaces, but in a bedroom like mine, which is kind of average size, I definitely feel like this has been removing dust and particulate and catching it there, and it's very quiet, and so I feel better and more refreshed when I wake up. If you want to pick up this air purifier, I will put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out!